So apparently Jake Paul wants you to work for him for free, and a lot of people have opinions about it. What is up, everybody? This is Chris from the Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem, but focus on the solution. And if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is take a look at things going on in the YouTube community or pop culture, try to see what lessons we can learn from them. So if you're into that stuff, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. And in case you did not get the memo, the podcast is up and running. I just recorded episode 6. It's on Spotify. It's on the Google Podcast. It's on iTunes as well. I'm gonna upload it to SoundCloud. So make sure you check it out. It will be linked down in the description below. And make sure you're following me on Instagram and Twitter at The Rewired Soul, where I give you updates about all the new dilly-daddies that I'm getting into, all right? But anyways, let's talk about Jake Paul. So Jake Paul has been under a lot of fire lately, ever since his whole cyberbullying or anti-internet bullying campaign against Cody Ko. And I think people are just really sensitive to Jake Paul right now, just freaking out over literally everything he does, all right? But Jake Paul just did something that Tana Mojo recently got some flack for, which is he's trying to get somebody to work for him for free, all right? So it looks like he posted this on his Instagram story, which he then posted on Twitter as well, and it says this: if you are a young, aspiring music producer and engineer, please read. We are in need of a full-time in-house producer, engineer, who will mainly act as an engineer for us. This will be an internship position and will provide you with real-life experience, connections, exposure, and a whole lot of fun. We want a hard-working person who's proficient in recording on all softwares, Pro Tools, Logic, FL, Ableton, etc. Serious inquiries only, please. Email engineer@jakepaul.com with your Instagram, something about you, and your location, parentheses, doesn't matter. All right, so everybody's freaking out about this. Everybody's freaking out, and they're like, oh my God, Jake Paul is this millionaire, and he wants you to work for free, okay? So I got some feelings about this, but I just wanna attack this from some different angles and just try to start a conversation with you all. So something that I talked about on Twitter as I retweeted this was, this isn't anything new. Like, I remember just growing up thinking how ridiculous interning is, right? Like, so let's talk about just the college system as a whole. Most people can't afford college. This is true, unless you get a scholarship or something like, or you just come from a rich family. If not, many people are getting student loans that take them forever to pay off. And part of the college system is you go and you intern to get college credits, right? And interning is often working for free as well. So what Jake Paul is requesting from people isn't something that's necessarily new. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is not only has this been around forever, and not even $1 million, but billion-dollar corporations and companies are having young people work for them for free, but one of the things that I see with just the overall interning system or even the college system at large is there's no guarantees, all right? And like, if you wanna go to college, if you wanna specialize in something, you do you, baby girl. And I'm gonna talk about a couple different career paths in a second. But once you graduate, there's no guarantee, all right? There is a certain amount of hustle or connections that you need to have, right? Some colleges have like alumni programs where the alumni of that school, they will help you out and try to give you connections and help you find a job, or the school itself will have different programs to help you find a job once you get out there. But just something I want you to think about is there might be people who graduate from college or graduate in this profession of being some kind of a musical engineer, right, a producer, and they might not get the opportunity ever in their lifetime to work with somebody like Jake Paul. Like, all of our opinions about Jake Paul aside, my opinion, your opinion, and things like that, like, there's no arguing the fact that he is somebody big in the public spotlight, and this could be a great opportunity. Now, interning is definitely a necessity. Like, for all of you who are just now meeting me, like, I come from the addiction treatment background. Although my specific position did not require a license or a degree or interning hours or things like that, I'm currently halfway through my certified alcohol and drug counselor's license, and I've worked with people who have interned as therapists, and then we later hired them as therapists. So in certain careers, like especially when it comes to like health and mental health, like interning is absolutely necessary, all right? Like my beautiful girlfriend Tristan, she's going to school for social work. Do you have to intern for that? Like do some hours and stuff? Yeah, like that's legit stuff. Like you are messing with people's lives, okay? So that's very important. But I want to talk about, you know, creatives, okay? Like people who are doing things like music, art, film, things like that. Like when it comes to creative industries, there's only so much that school can teach you. If any of you watch like vocal coaches, like Tristan Paredes, for example, and things like that, like they've gone to school for music, but there is only so much you can teach. They talk about this. There also comes some natural talent. There also comes some creativity. Now, my view on this whole situation might be a little bit different because I have lived in the city of Las Vegas for over 20 years now, all right? And something I was taught very early on living in this city is it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, all right? So those of you who don't know, like if any of you are looking for a job, like move to Las Vegas. Like Las Vegas is the home of just about any industry you can imagine. Like hell, if you wanna be some kind of marine biologist, we have Shark Reef here and all sorts of stuff like that, okay? But anyways, there are just these elaborate shows, like, you know, they have Cirque du Soleil here and like all the just major acts like Chris Angel and everything like that, right? So when you have like costume designers and choreographers and makeup artists and everything like that, to break into this industry here, and I know this based on personal experience and living here for so long, I know so many people who can attest to this because I've watched their own experience. It's about who they know, right? Like sometimes it's all about networking and knowing somebody to get your foot in the door, and then all of a sudden you become a big name in this city for what you do, all right? So while it would be lovely if somebody like Jake Paul, who's making millions of dollars, to pay somebody like this to work in-house and do all this, there are many people who I guarantee like no matter how many people are tweeting at Jake Paul and making fun of him, I guarantee this dude is getting so many emails because a lot of young people would jump at the opportunity just to get that experience, just to get that exposure. Now, I also have personal experience with this. So not to dive fully into my story, but I used to, like way back in the day, I was in the professional esports industry. And this all started with a similar position, okay? So I was actually a college student. I just got out of high school. I was going to a local community college up in Northern California. And there was an esports website and I wanted to work for them. My overall goal was to write for their website. I wanted to be a writer, right? But they didn't have any writing jobs. I had no background on anything. At that time, I was majoring in English, but I always had this natural knack for writing, and something I was passionate about was esports. Well, I got my foot in the door by taking a free position just doing like graphics for them, and I sucked at Photoshop, but back then, like, you didn't need to be like an amazing like digital artist. So I started by working for them for free. Then my opportunity came, all right? And they let me do some guest articles, right? And then next thing you know, the audience loved it, and that led to a paid position. Not only did that lead to a paid position, but next thing you know, I was 19, 20 years old, and I was traveling around the world for free, and it all started with me working as a free person at this website. You see what I mean? So I know, like, I can see that people are upset with Jake Paul, but there are countless people who have got their start by just saying, you know what, I'll bite the bullet, I'll work extra hours, I'll work part-time over here, you get me full-time for free, and it leads to something amazing. Somebody else I highly suggest you all look into is somebody by the name of Tyler Babin, okay? I'll link his channel down below. He's an amazing videographer, storyteller, and everything. But anyways, he got his start working for Gary Vaynerchuk, all right? And that turned into a paid position. But anyways, like, just the opportunity to work with Gary V, that opened up so many doors for Babin, all right? Now he has recently left VaynerMedia, and it's because he got like the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be part of this program for Adobe where they fund you for an entire year just for you to create. He would have never got that opportunity had he not worked for Gary Vaynerchuk. So I know everybody's like, well, you need to pay, but sometimes that exposure and those connections are absolutely priceless, all right? So I just wanted to tackle this from a different angle. I can do another 20 minutes of this video talking about the logistics if Jake Paul was hiring somebody and the process they would have to go through and everything like that. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an alternative perspective on this whole situation, but let me know down in the comments below. Tell me if you've ever had an opportunity to work for somebody for free or network that blossomed into something amazing because it was more about who you knew rather than what you knew. Because in my experience too, I also know a lot of people who got college degrees and they've gone a completely different route because they found something that they were better at based on who they knew and got into a different industry, all right? But let me know your thoughts on this topic down in the comments below. And anyways, that's all I got for this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter where you get all the beautiful updates like where the podcast is and everything like that. And before I take off, I want to send out a huge thank you to everybody supporting the channel over on Patreon. You are all amazing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.